Y'all, you gonna call me a ninja when we talk about this, y'all. Ooh, you gonna be like, God gonna get you, Day. God gonna get you.
Hello, Gago. See this brother win, man. Hey, hey, look, what is your win, babe? What is your win, babe? What is your win, babe?
If you have not already done so, please remember to like, share the Facebook, subscribe, and visit uptopbeauty.com. Today's looky would be our Miss Chi Chi shades. Now, we don't have them in stock right now, but they are on the way and they will be here shortly. So if you would like to pre-order some, go on over there and check them out. And if you are not already a part of this book club, please hit the Patreon link below and or the join button here on the YouTube. And for a small monthly fee of $5, you babies, yes you, can be privy to all the shenanigans before the YouTube gets it, if the YouTube gets it. Now, let's continue talking about Mariah Carey's The Meaning of Mariah. When Tommy suggested we go to couples therapy, I was surprised. Unsurprisingly, he told me it would have to be with his therapist, who he had been seeing for years. And I know you probably think that's unfair, but in real talk, don't nobody know his ass more than his therapist. So it might have seemed unfair at first, but in reality, she know all his bullshit. So when you come in and you explain your story, then she can match it with the truth about him. I had started to develop hives like breakouts. I went to see the dermatologist, who assured me that my otherwise unblemished skin was having a reaction to severe stress. Therapy was a lifesaver. Our therapist was a kind, older Jewish woman with short amber hair and alert eyes. She had a cozy office in her classic Westchester home. I liked her more than I thought I would, as I assumed she would be on Tommy's team. But she was refreshingly impartial and a real pro. And he respected her. Good, because he needed to respect somebody. It was a profound breakthrough for me that she listened to both of us objectively. After some of our sessions, she would ask mozzarella sticks to go sit and wait for me in the car so that she and I could decompress and speak honestly. Once during our alone time, I asked her, pleading, really, why can't he just let me go to the spa or to the movies or do anything? I did nothing wrong. She took a pause and said in her dry matter-of-fact New York accent, sweetie, it's not normal. Why are you acting as if you're dealing with a normal situation? It's not normal. But I had no frame of reference for normal. Our marriage had been a demolition site long before we made it to therapy. Right away, Tommy's therapist advocated for me to have more independence. After ferocious negotiation with the therapist, we agreed the first step toward independence was that I would finally attend acting classes. For years, I had wanted acting training. Songs are like monologues. So I knew I had good raw material and certainly a range of emotions and life experiences to draw from. But I hungered to learn some craft, to explore, develop, and discipline another passion brewing inside me. Y'all, you gonna call me a ninja when we talk about this, y'all. Ooh, you gonna be like, God gonna get you, Day. God gonna get you.
The other day we was live, right? And we was just talking about Mariah, right? And discussing the book. You know, sometimes we'll do that. Just like we'll just randomly go live and just discuss whatever, right? Somebody had brung up Kevin Samuels, right? And I don't know that man. Men like Kevin Samuels and Tommy Sotomayor use women as a dollar bill. Because I believe half the time Tommy Sotomayor will be talking, he don't even believe half the shit he say. He just do things in order to get a response financially. With Kevin Samuels, I'm indifferent towards him because I don't give a fuck about him. I don't really and truly, I don't even understand why people even took him seriously. Why'd you take that ninja seriously? If he ain't talking to you, then why you worried for? Okay, that's the way my concern is. And I knew that nigga wasn't talking to me. So I didn't care. I never once I tuned into him that one time and saw who he was, I was done. I don't need him to tell me about me as a black woman, because I am me. And I don't understand why women, like I was disappointed with Jill Scott for even arguing with Tommy Sotomayor. Jill Scott, goddamn well, who the hell is he? Rich BBW over there somewhere in Philly having you a good time. Yeah, your relationships didn't work, but so what? Well, the first thing that comes to mind when I think about Kevin Samuels, getting back to what Mariah says about memorizing movie lines, is I referenced The Color Purple, okay? Remember when Celie found out who her real father was? And she asked the young girl who her biological father was married to, how'd he die? And the little girl responded, he died on top of me. Acting was both a dream and something I felt I needed to do. Tommy agreed. I would have private acting lessons, unsurprisingly, again with a coach he knew and approved of. Like the therapist, this acting coach was very qualified and worked with incredible world-class actors. What I remember most clearly was the acting coach telling me I had difficulty accessing my anger. That's hard to believe from Aries. I thought back to something the therapist had once told me. Often sadness is anger turned inward. Of course, I kept it all inside. How else would I have survived? I realized I couldn't express anger because I was never allowed to. Who was I ever safe to be angry with? Not my brother. Not that greasy motherfucker, okay? Ooh, I seen a video, y'all. If y'all not over there on the NayRob fan page, that's where we be posting stuff and continuing the conversation. When we upload videos in the morning, child, it's down below if Vic is not posting it in the comments. But child, that brother, we call Tommy Mottola mozzarella sticks. But that oh my God, he is horrible. Who was I ever to be angry with? Not my brother, certainly not my sister, not Tommy, not my mother, not anyone. There was no safe person and no safe place in my life. There never had been. The crush of Tommy was relentless. After countless painful and dramatic fights, and after I began some genuine soul searching, Tommy and I began to broach the notion of temporary separation in therapy. It took a lot of personal work and getting in touch with myself to even touch the concept. I was so scarred on so many levels. The emotional struggles with Tommy had been nonstop, and I couldn't yet even begin to know the effects of the trauma. But getting to where we could discuss a reprieve from the pain was major. He had pulled a lot of strings to tie me up. I really didn't know how I would be able to escape him while he was still alive. He could be incredibly vindictive, and his network was so far-reaching. I had a very real feeling my entire safety was at risk. With a little support and few new tools, I was able to clearly see that living with him was killing me. I needed to create a place for me to breathe. I know that's right, baby. I'm telling you, Mariah is giving me the strength. You guys have no idea what I have been going through. Operation Mariah's solo test flight night had a strict itinerary. First, Tommy and I would attend the Fresh Air Found Gala together, which we'd done in previous years, acting normal. Afterward, I would have dinner with a group of friends, actually normal. Being out with Tommy had become such a strained performance, I was riddled with a horrible cocktail of anxiety and boredom. Fortunately, that night, I knew that some of my peers, like Wanya Morris from Boys to Men, were also going to be at the gala, so I wouldn't have to wear such a heavy mask all night. That's strange. That's strange. Why did Tommy Mottola allow you to be friends with Brandy's boyfriend? Did Brandon know that? Why would a man be comfortable with him hanging out with? I don't know. It's just strange. The lighting in the place was low, and 20 of us were seated in the back against a gigantic wall of windows around the large dining table, crowded with beautiful bottles of wine and candles. The air was electric, with playful chatter and laughter, and there was great music playing in the background, with Wanya occasionally breaking out into riffs. It was an ordinary night to everyone else there, but it was a revelation to me, being out socially with my peers and listening to the music of my time. Though I was still being watched, I felt lighter than I had in a long time. I felt young and unchained. It was not uncommon for a dinner party of this kind to have guests come and go in waves. So when Derek Jeter and his friend came in and sat down across from me at the table, they didn't command any of my attention. I found them both ambiguous. After I briefly glanced up at them, I thought, who are these guys? My attention went right back to the more interesting dinner guests. I was never drawn to the jock type, not even in high school where athletes were at the top of the food chain. Dirk and his friend were no exception to my rule. His Armani suit didn't cover up the Kalamazoo in him. He didn't have the New York slick vibe that I had become so accustomed to. I'm not being shady, but he had on pointy shoes. Oh, girl, you being shady. Whenever I call out a pointy shoe, I'm being shady, girl. Okay, I'm trying to remind that ninja. Okay, you might think you cute, girl, but goddamn it, them shoes could kill a cockroach in the corner, girl. Okay, you might want to back up off me, girl, because I will go all the way in on them pointy-ass crocodiles. Oh, Shaq, I love you, Shaq. I love you, and I hope one day you find somebody that loves you for you. Don't go back to that bitch Karen Steffens. Don't go back to her, okay? Because she done put your ding-a-ling on blast. You know, even to this day, Shaquille be a Bamma. You be like, bruh, you don't have no stylist nowhere to tell you nothing. Don't put on them pointed shoes. You already wear a size 27. Girl, them pointy shoes is going to put 3 more inches on your foot, Jay. Artists can be very tribal. And compared to the hip-hop and R&B stars, models, fashionistas, and cool kids in every hue at the table, the two of them presented as rather pedestrian. The restaurant was moody, but our table was buzzing. And at some point, the conversation moved to inconspicuous blackness, passing, but with more nuance. I was riveted. We discussed who we thought was secretly black, or else could have some black running through them, how they might or might not identify, and how they were often misidentified. I had never had an open conversation about biracial or multiracial athletics ever. My parents didn't have the language for it. Tommy never wanted to talk about my biracial identity. See why we call his ass Tommy Mozzarella Sticks Mottola? Well, I added on the sticks. Tommy Mozzarella Sticks Mottola. Because he's so oily. Like the mozzarella stick and greasy. That motherfucker look greasy. If he wasn't ashamed of it, he certainly didn't want to promote it. I couldn't believe it. It was my first night out without him, and suddenly I was in a dialogue about race and identity with young, smart, and creative people. Eventually, the debate turned to me. If you have not already done so, please remember to like, share the Facebook, subscribe, and visit uptopbeauty.com. Now remember this, the same people that you meet on the way up will always be the same people that you meet on the way down. My naysayers, my patron loves you babies. Please be safe. Continue to wear your mask and have a good one. Peace.